USC, UCLA, NYU, Columbia. We have literal jihadists taking over these campuses. Literally, I'm not saying that ironically. And
No,
the
you're not.
funniest thing is many of them, or at least some of them, don't even have a clue of what they're protesting, and they even admit it on
Well, that
camera.
can't be true, Chris. That
It's true. It's true. And
college students blindly following somebody? That doesn't sound right.
oh boy, is it true. And that's the proof that we are beyond the Rubicon. Welcome
Very.
back to Yeah, you like that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome
I did. Good one.
welcome back to the show, guys. We're going to start today with as everybody knows, the world's gone crazy. We have literal college students on all these campuses, these crazies who are calling for global intifada against the Jews, against Israel, destroying
Against the U.S. Don't forget us.
yeah, the U.S., especially the U.S. They hate the
Yeah.
U.S.
Yeah.
And one of the campuses, specifically on UCLA, is having some trouble. They actually are finding some opposition from other people in the student body, counter-protesters, and they released this. I found this to be a very funny. I think this will make everybody laugh a little bit. This press release, this official press release. So I'm going to put this up on the screen, and I think we can have a good laugh, and we'll read through it here.
Chris, there's nothing funny about what's going on.
Yes, sorry. So this was actually from just a couple days ago, April 30th, 2024. This is the Palestine Solidarity Encampment press release. So get ready for this. The life-threatening assault we faced tonight. We meaning the protesters, the college students. Yeah, I knew. So you're already laughing. The life-threatening assault
It
we
was
faced tonight
fireworks. It was fireworks.
is nothing less than a horrifying, despicable act of terror. For over 7 hours, Zionist aggressors hurled gas canisters, sprayed pepper spray, and threw fireworks and bricks into our encampment. They broke our I didn't see any of this, by the way. They broke our barriers repeatedly, clearly in
They
an
did.
attempt to kill our community.
No.
To kill our community. Campus safety
With
left
fireworks?
Campus safety left within minutes. External security the university hired for quote-unquote backup watched, filmed, and laughed on the side as the immediate danger...
That was me. It was
you.
me.
I knew. I thought I saw
I
you in
was
the background
there.
there.
It was me.
As the immediate danger inflicted upon us escalated, law enforcement simply stood at the edge of the lawn and refused to budge as we screamed for help. The only means of protection we had was each other. We keep each other safe. All caps. Don't
Oh, they
forget the
were in
caps.
trouble. If all they have is each other, they were in a lot of trouble. I was the one screaming dirty hippies. That was me in the background.
I thought I saw you back there. Despite the danger, we refused to engage, standing by the principles of our encampment.
That's a lie.
Self-defense. Right.
I
For
saw this
all-
video. Did you not see this video?
I'm not sure I saw the actual video.
Yeah.
By
They
the
did
way,
not
for-
stand back and do nothing. Go ahead. Sorry. This is very...
Go. For all the
Okay.
school's pretense of student safety, except for the Jews, though. They don't care about the Jews' safety.
Right.
We have experienced an unprecedented amount of violence and hatred while they stood by. The university's hypocrisy is all too apparent, as signs of this escalation were reported, documented, and indicated early on. The Zionist attacks, their use of chemical weaponry, their hatred, their destruction, are but a microcosm of the genocide in Gaza. The university would rather see us, and look at these all bolded. The university would rather see us dead than divest. Media portrayal of neutrality and both sides only obfuscates the truth. We have no pepper spray, no gas canisters, no fireworks, and no
But they haven't bathed in like a week.
That's
So,
pepper
I
spray.
mean...
Oh, by the
Yeah,
way,
they're dirty
they say-
hippies out in the sun, not bathing. I mean,
You see that? Well, the funniest part of this is they say they have no aggression.
that's a lie.
That's a lie. All we had was our community to hold our wooden barriers. What more can we do? We ask yet
Go
again.
home.
No, we demand that the university end this sham. The sham of
I do too.
pretending that the school is neutral. It has chosen genocide before, and it chooses genocide again.
I demand it in too. Arrest them and send them all home. Expel them.
Yeah. So what do you think of
So
that?
here's
picture?
what.
That's a
Well,
doozy.
here's what they don't tell you. Here's what they don't tell you. What kicked all that off was that they beat a Jewish girl who was a student there unconscious. She was trying to go through campus. She got attacked. They beat her unconscious. And one of her friends, the Jewish friend, went and got his friends, who went and got his friends, and 300 of them showed up and said, we've had enough. That's what kicked it off. This wasn't a bunch of people coming for it. They beat a girl and put her in the hospital because she was Jewish. So, yeah, pepper spray, I mean, I guess pepper spray is a chemical weapon, but I cannot imagine. I would think the odor from the encampment of a bunch of dirty hippies who haven't bathed, changed clothes.
Dirty. It's probably a BO mixed with stale marijuana smoke smell. That's
yes,
the smell.
And then whatever, the vegan whatever gross food they're eating, and I would think that would be chemical weapon enough. But yeah, no, that's what not, because I'm thinking, yeah, I would have stood there and laughed too, but I was like, what kicked this off that these guys just decided, maybe they did, but I kept digging and digging, and it turned out that what happened was there was a Jewish girl on campus, and they attacked her and beat her and put her in the hospital. And so her friends were like, all right, that's enough. And I don't blame them, because I'd have done the same. I'd have been like, all right, that's enough of that. And so, no, they are violent. They are aggressive. I don't understand. It was fireworks. Like, I caught some video. It was fireworks. Yeah, they did get pepper sprayed, but, wash your eyes out. Somebody was like, use milk. I'm like, oh, vegans aren't going to use milk.
Police officers don't use pepper spray unless you're kind of charging at them or struggling with them. They don't just walk up to you sitting there quietly and pepper spray you. It's not what they do.
And so these people were trying to tear down the encampment, and they wanted them off campus because they're sick of their BS. And it astounds me. So somebody made a comment, and so I'm sure people have seen the video. I think it's at Columbia where the guy has a Star of David, and he's trying to get through, and they won't let him. And so this woman's like, well, he could have walked around. He just wanted to walk through the encampment. He could have just walked around. People are like, why should he walk around?
Yeah, because this is, you know what, Terry? This is literally like, it's like saying to a black person who's not allowed to use the front door, why not just go to the back door? During Jim Crow. That's what this is like.
And she goes, well, nobody's allowed in the encampment. I said, the encampment is not in charge of the campus. He pays to go there. He can walk anywhere he wants to. Yeah, but the encampment said he can't. They're not an authority. They're a bunch of stupid students. He's paying his money to go there.
Well, I don't know if you also heard.
If you think I'm going to pay $100,000 to go to a university and
not have access to the quad, not have access to
and not have access to walk anywhere any other student does, you're lucky you ran into that kid and not me. Because I would have gone through there. That would have been on the news.
Well, here's the thing. Like,
crazy fat Southern girl loses her shit.
I don't know if you saw they released a recording of a concerned parent whose son wasn't allowed in the building, and she called the police, and she asked and the police were saying, I believe this was UCLA, and the police said to the mother, we've been directed by the school to not intervene. And when I heard that, I was like, what world are we living in?
Yeah.
The police take orders. The police take orders from school administrators. Is that what we're doing now?
Well, and so that the first lawsuit has been filed against UCLA by parents and students who are having their education because they canceled graduation. How much money? I don't know what it costs to go to UCLA, but at least what it costs to buy a house in Texas, I'm sure. And I paid all of that money, and I don't get to walk across the stage? Absolutely not. So I think we're going to see more of these lawsuits because I said that. I'm like, why aren't these parents? If I was a student going to Columbia and I was a student who wasn't politically active and say I didn't care, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Or even if I, supported Israel and I couldn't go to class, if I had to take classes online, I couldn't go where I wanted to on campus. If I felt it was, I would absolutely sue that university. Absolutely.
Well, to me, this is a much bigger injustice than even the prolonged lockdowns during COVID, because at least that hit everybody equally. We're talking about
Right.
certain classes of people
Yep.
facing a systematic discrimination by the school. I
Yeah.
mean, people want to cry about systemic racism, I mean, we have systemic racism in this country, and it's against Jewish people right now. I
People.
mean, I
Yeah.
really
At the
believe. I
university.
think this is a civil
Yes.
rights issue
It
nationwide.
absolutely is. It's a goods and services issues. I'm paying you for something I'm not getting, right?
Yep.
It's a civil rights issue because I'm being told to stay away to be safe. You're not making the campus safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are, here's the thing. They've already said that there are people who are just going through and throwing away resumes. They're like, "Yep, no, we're not hiring anybody from Columbia." Now, if I go to Columbia and I'm not involved in that, and now my future job is impacted,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be retired because Columbia is going to cut me a check.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the other total irony of this is, you know, the radical left has created every civil rights issue that exists in this country right now. They've created the civil rights issue against Jew. I mean, the radical left and the far right extremists working together have created this Jew hatred and this machine against the Jews. But the radical left has also created
Not just
by their
it is against Jews, but it's also against anybody who supports them.
yeah. So it's discrimination by association with Jews, which is
Yes.
even worse.
And I'm not saying that anybody's going to discriminate against me the way they would a Jewish person. I'm not putting it, but it's anybody who wants to support Jewish people as well.
Yeah, well, you get maligned, and the other. I'm a firm believer that the other major civil rights issue of this time is against women with this Title IX overhaul, and both of those, the radical left had hands in that. So it's just funny,
Yeah.
they're the ones crying about discrimination and racism and prejudice, but they've created the civil rights issues of our time.
On campuses, on colleges,
Both because both of those are campus related. Title IX is
Yes.
secondary ed and college.
in college, as a woman, I'm being forced to compete against men who are stronger than me, faster than me, have better lung capacity than I do, have more body mass, muscle wise, have tougher, more dense bones than I do. So I'm being forced to compete against men.
You're also getting forced to dorm with them, by the way. If a trans man says,
Yes.
if a trans woman says, "Hey, I want to live in the dorm with 5 other women and share an apartment," it's now a civil rights discrimination to deny that.
Yes. So you are taking away the safety of women. You are erasing them by saying they are something they are not. And now you are discriminating and taking away the civil rights of Jewish people, who, simply because they're Jewish and you don't like what the government of Israel is doing. These are gross civil rights violations.
Oh, yeah.
And they are rights that both women and Jewish people have had to fight for in this country.
Yep.
They've had to fight for these in this country to get them. And these were huge battles that have benefited millions of people. And now we're right back in 1970 and 1940.
I mean, people forget Title IX was established to protect women's sports teams.
Yes.
And now they're using Title IX to eliminate them. I mean, that's the irony of this. And I don't know if it was one of the colleges, I forget which one, is demanding that if you want to walk through, I think it's the one, which is the one with the encampment? Is that UCLA?
They all have them. There's a whole bunch.
Okay, well, that they're requiring people to wear a wristband that indicates that they're not a Zionist. But
I haven't seen that.
Huh?
I haven't seen that.
Oh my God! I have to pull. I don't know. If I have
Wrap
a video.
that wristband around someone's neck. I wish
There was a
somebody
video
would.
where a Jewish person was trying to get into a classroom building, and they said, "We don't let Zionists in here." He says, "Oh, so you're not letting me in because I'm Jewish?" And the pro-Pali person says, "No, we have a couple Jewish students in here are you a Zionist? And then they're like, you don't have your wristband. So people, they want the students to wear a wristband that indicates they're pro-Palestine. But to me, I see that, and I see the Jews being forced to wear the Star of David during the Holocaust. That's what I see.
Exactly what it
It,
is.
it's
It is
literally. I mean, people
exactly.
don't see how similar this is.
Oh,
It's
I am
unbelievable.
so glad I am not in college right now because my
Me
dad
too.
would have to come down and bail me out of jail on the regular. And you know what? He would. He would. He would be like, "Yeah, okay." I'd be like, "Dad, I got in a fight again. What'd you do? I punched a pro pally trying to make me wear a wristband. All right, I'll be down to get you." And then he would be like, "Let's go find him."
I'll drive you. Let's go find him. I'll drive.
I'll drive you. Let's go find him. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm going to tell you, though, if I had been the pro pally, if I was on the other side and I had gotten up and said, hey, we need them to bring us food and water because we didn't prepare, he would call me and disown me. Not because I was pro Palestine, but he would be like, you are an embarrassment to this family. How stupid are you? Look at your fat ass can't remember to bring snacks to a protest. Really?
Well, the funny thing is, they're not starving. They were out for a few hours. I mean, they're
Yeah.
acting like they're in the desert,
Well, the
being
building
deprived.
has water. So you
Yeah,
just
right.
want water bottles. Like one of the reporters is like, don't you have water bottles? But the fact that, you know what, the fact that they are defining that as a humanitarian crisis helps me to understand why they don't understand what's going on in Gaza.
Yes, exactly.
Right? If you think you being in the middle of New York City with all
By
those
choice.
restaurants,
You're parking
with
your
a
ass there by
phone.
choice.
yeah, DoorDash, Uber
Right.
Eats, right? And
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
Uber Eats have to.
Yeah, and you can't figure out how to get food. Yeah, I understand why you aren't able to see the bigger picture.
Well, the funny thing is, you know what? What I think of when I think of these people like feeling stranded and asking for food. These people will go to Times Square and watch the ball drop and line up for 15 hours without a
Yeah.
bathroom and without food, and they'll
Yeah.
find a way to make it work, even if they have to
Yeah.
shit in their pants and
Yeah.
they'll make it work, right? Because they're there
Yeah.
and they want to do it. But they can't figure it out here. I think
No.
that's what's funny. Like
Yeah.
they're resourceful when they want to be, when it serves
Well,
them.
I think the thing that gave me hope is you see on social media, oh, we're turning the tide, we're turning the tide. I'm like, oh dear God, who is listening to college? But I looked up polls, and right now they said it's running about 75 to 80% of Americans still support Israel. And the remaining, the bulk, I think it's 17, 18%. So I'm going to say support Palestine, but they do not support Hamas. So college campuses are not changing people's minds.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think they're probably changing them the other way, right?
Well, and there's a lot of people, and I told you my parents are Democrats, at least for now. I think it could change, but actually, I will tell you something funny. This is totally off topic. My mom, and remember, my mom's the liberal one. She sent
Yeah.
me a video of Ron DeSantis cuddling with a dog he was fostering, and she said he's so lovable here.
Aw.
So
That anybody's livable with a dog. So.
I know. So
But
anyway, I'll just say that.
Yeah, but
I think my-
Ron, I love that UF was like, we're not in daycare, go back to class, or we're
Yeah.
going to expel you and have
Yeah.
you arrested. I was like, applause all around.
Well, what I was gonna say is I think there's a sizable. I have to look and see what the polls actually say, but I think from what I last checked, it's a sizable percentage of the population who are pro-Israel in the conflict, but have concerns about the tactics, and that's a valid position too. That's actually
And that's a valid position in any war.
In any war.
I'm not telling you. Look, when I say I'm pro-Israel, I'm not like, and they can do whatever they want. If there are war crimes going on, and here's the thing, it's a war, so there probably are war crimes going on, unfortunately, because not everybody I think most of the people in the military are great people. But I'm not going to lie to you and tell you everybody in the military is a wonderful person. There are bad people in every group. And
Well,
I'm
I
sure...
think the thing that leftists don't understand is when people on the right say we support the military, we're talking about the purpose and mission of the military. We're
Yes.
not giving a blanket pass to every member. Or when we say, hey, we support, or if a Catholic says, oh, I love the Catholic Church, they're not saying I love the actions of every priest who's molested a child.
Right.
It's not about the individual. It's about the higher purpose of whatever that institution is.
Right. And so my thing is, I support them with the expectation that they will police and prosecute their own soldiers if they are committing war crimes. It's the same. No, I'm not. It's the same expectation with our military.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they've always done that, but my expectation is that they should do that.
But here's the other thing. It can be simultaneously true that even if you take the position that Israel is committing war crimes and they're not policing themselves properly, you can still have that view simultaneously with Israel should have a right to exist.
Yeah.
You can have those two.
I can totally agree. Look, I can say I don't support them being I do, but I don't support them being in Palestine at all. I still believe Israel has a right to exist and that Jews have a right to self-determination as their own nation, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem is these encampments literally want Israel dismantled and destroyed.
Right.
And what amazes me is they want, somebody's like, well, the Hamas and the PLO could get, I'm sorry, those are terrorist groups. And do you not know that Hamas wants a Sharia law type caliphate to
Globally.
Oppress women, down with the patriarchy? What? What?
Well, actually, this reminds me. I actually
that's
saw.
That's like what we're gonna put Ted Bundy in charge of speed dating. Okay.
Right.
So.
Well, I
good.
actually saw. This was not from one of these college campuses. It was from a while ago. There was an actual, like, it looked like a fundamentalist Muslim group protesting for Gaza, and a Queers for Palestine drag queen looking type of protester tried to stand next to them, and they said, "Get out of here!" They started it was in Arab, I don't know, maybe Arabic. It was in whatever language they were speaking, and they were screaming, "Get out of here! We don't support you!" And it was like so funny. Like, I don't think it's funny that they throw gays off buildings, but it was funny to see that protester get a taste for what really is going on. Yeah. And this wasn't in Gaza. This was
it's here. I remember that because you saw the flag go over. Like, you could see the flag go over, and then you saw the tussle, and then like the pride flag is. I'm like, yeah, they don't. I don't know what part of. Nobody is making this up. These are bad guys. And they want to oppress. That is what astounds me, is these same whack jobs who were yelling down with the patriarchy literally support implementing the most patriarchal of governments
and it's
patriarchy, that exists.
And it's not just patriarchy, it's patriarchy enforced by brute force and violence. It's beyond just having an institution where it's if you even speak out against it, we're going to kill you. I mean, it's so extreme.
Well, I told you about that documentary in, not Palestine. The other one. No, it was the woman.
Is it the woman?
Pakistan. Yes.
Yeah.
But they said that if it's an honor killing, the most you're going to get is 5 years. 5 years for
the fact that they even have a term such as honor killing.
Yes, exactly. And it's not about her honor. It's about the father's honor.
Right.
It's not even about her honor. It's about him.
The father's honor at the expense of his daughter's life. That's really
what it is. Yes. And this is who you're championing. Because here's the thing. If Hamas gets in and they become more radical, you don't think they're not going to implement those things? You don't think that could happen? My thing is, why don't we get as far away from that as we can and not take the chance? But in Afghanistan, they are already re-implementing. The Taliban has come out and said, we're going to start doing female circumcision again. They've already stated that. And you have it going on in Pakistan, and they have, and Pakistan is like, that's like a vacation. They're like, oh, you got a daughter who's a problem? Bring her to Pakistan and throw her off a building. Like, that is known that families who believe in that can go there and get away with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm a feminist. I stand for Hamas. You are the dumbest person who's ever lived. You literally, bowling balls have more wrinkles than your brain. That's what you cannot be a feminist and support the spread of Islamic regimes. You can be a Muslim, but you cannot, the spread of a theocratic Muslim regime, it absolutely cannot be. No. Not an intelligent one, anyway.
So what do you think? Because I think you hear a lot. See some of these people. They'll say, "I'm pro-Palestine. I'm not pro-Hamas, but I'm pro-Palestine." I think because there are, again, people who have empathy for Palestine, for innocent Palestinians, but a lot of these people are really pro-Hamas. A lot of these people.
Well, they are. I mean, you didn't see the video where they were screaming, "We are Hamas"?
Yeah.
I'm Hamas. Okay, well then you should go to jail. You're a terrorist.
Yeah.
They're terrorists. I think that this is a social contagion run amok. College student. I mean, and look, you can argue all you want. They're and that's my thing. I'm like, every time I watch, I'm like, this is the best and the brightest. This is the best. These are our best institutions with the best minds of this generation. Holy crap!
We're not talking about dipshit city community college. We're talking about Columbia University and UCLA. You know, these
and Yale and Princeton
and Yale
and Harvard and UCLA. I mean, these are supposed to be our very best people and our very brightest people, and they can't even remember to bring snacks to a sit-in. Are you kidding me?
Well, speaking, this is a perfect transition. Speaking of these people not being our best and the brightest, I'm going to play this little clip. This is a woman who doesn't even know what she's protesting for, and I think it'll give us all a laugh to see this, and then we could discuss it.
What would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stop. I honestly don't know all of what NYU is doing.
Is there something that NYU is doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU is doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here at NYU? I wish I was more educated.
More educated.
Yeah, and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support. So I came down. I heard there's lots of cops. Some people were saying it was getting dangerous.
How much are they paying in tuition? How much is tuition at NYU? Right. I wish I was more educated. So do the rest of us, you idiot. Her parents have to be like, we're putting her up for adoption. I'm not having this conversation again, Karen. That is your daughter. I know that you had an affair. I want her up for adoption. I'm done.
Well, here's the funny thing. There's a couple things. Hold on, let me see if I can get some light in here.
Okay, good. Let's clip this out because I got to blow my nose. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm still... wrapping up. Okay, the last of the sinuses. I'm so excited about trying this steak in May. I mean, that's only 17 days away.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
No, this is going to be good. Are you still down to share the tomahawk?
That's what I just said. I'm so excited about eating this steak.
Oh, okay. That's
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes. Yes.
I've never. By the way, have you ever ordered a big tomahawk like that or no? I actually haven't.
I have, like, they've got one for the table. And I've had it. I went. Sam and Nick's has one in Texas. They're known for Sam and Nick's is. That's the place where I told you I had the caviar bar and I shoved my face full of caviar like white trash because I was like, this is. And then I convinced the 25-year-old kid with me, and he and I are over there, you know, trailer parking it up.
Have you ever had a Wagyu?
Yeah.
Have you had a Wagyu tomahawk though?
Yes, at a place that has an order of French fries costs $35, and we're over there like caviar. So yes, they have a tomahawk Wagyu, and it is huge. And the guy who ordered it was like super keto, whatever, and so he ordered it rare. It was still, he's like, I want it as legally uncooked as you can make it, and it was almost raw, like it was barely seared.
Did you enjoy it that way?
He ate the whole thing. And he was about 5'6" and 115 pounds.
Oh, wow.
But he ate the whole thing.
Wait, are you okay sharing it though? Or
oh yeah, we'll have to. There's no way I can eat it.
It's 40 ounces. I think that'll be enough.
Yeah, you can have 5 and I'll eat the other 35. And no, yeah.
Because we're also gonna have
no way.
We're also gonna have sides and all that other stuff too.
Yeah, no, that's plenty, Chris. I mean, we've got and we're gonna do dessert. You still got to find me a tiramisu place, and yeah, we're good. A 40-ounce steak plus all the sides plus drink. I'm gonna have drinks, so we'll be good. So,
Okay. Also, do you know how many nights you're doing?
I don't know what works for you guys.
I mean, we're fine with, like, huh?
I'm gonna fly directly to Austin. Depending on where insurance is, I may drive out there, but I'm gonna fly to Austin. So I can either stay in Austin. I'm gonna get there Wednesday, so I can stay there Thursday and come in Friday afternoon, and after work, and leave Sunday. Or if you want to try, do a couple more dinner places, I can stay a little longer.
Why don't we do? Do you want to do Friday night, Saturday night? I mean, you could do 2 or 3 nights. 3 nights is fine.
Yeah.
Unless you have to be back. That's whatever.
No, I didn't work from anywhere, so I'm fine.
We definitely want to take you to this little sandwich place with the ice cream nearby.
Yes. Yes.
And then if you want, we could pick, since we're doing a steakhouse, if you want to do an Italian place with nice tiramisu, we can do that. Also.
That works for me.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll make it work.
That absolutely. Okay. The only thing I want to get, and we don't have to go to there to eat, is I do want to get a cookies and cream creme brulee shake from Burger, the Gordon Ramsay restaurant.
Oh, Gordon Ramsay. Oh, well, we're down for that.
And then if we have time, we should go to the Tiki place, the oldest Tiki bar in America.
Yeah, we're down to do whatever.
Okay, we'll plan it. We'll get it planned out. All right, let's get back to the show. Okay.
All right, no problem. Okay. So, that was actually the first time I'd watched that video with the subtitles. There's a couple hilarious things there. Did you notice, it was really early on in the video, the girl goes, "We want NYU to stop, period." She knows she doesn't know what she wants them to stop, so it just says, "We want them to stop."
Mm-hmm. What if it was something they wanted them to do? That's what I love. If they're out there, NYU, do this.
She's being filmed, and she willingly, like, the reporter didn't even have to nudge her and say, like, "Do you know what you're like?" She full out admitted, openly,
I got no idea what we're doing here. Yeah, I got no idea. Nothing.
Like, I would be embarrassed to say. I would, like, pretend and I'd bullshit something. I mean, like,
yeah.
Like,
we're just here to support whoever's supporting Palestine, and I would have just started screaming "Free Palestine," right? Which I think is why a lot of them start.
Number one, they're so stupid that they don't even realize how stupid they look saying what they were saying, that they don't know what they're there for.
I'm supposed to take you seriously. Oh, I can't.
The second part of that, though, is also funny, where the friend says, "Oh, I heard they needed our help. I heard there were cops." And they're like, "Oh, there's cops there. It must be evil." And they hop on the train and go.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, going back to the letter you read at the beginning, I love this with the cops, is don't they want to defund the police in California? I mean,
well, that's the whole thing. They want, actually, there was this funny thing. What you're saying reminds me of that.
Are you sure that letter wasn't satire? That is so ridiculous. I can't.
No, well, do you know what account this is? This is the shared from the Instagram account called SJP at UCLA, Students for Justice in Palestine, University of California, Los Angeles, 27,000 followers. It's the actual club account.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But what I was actually going to say was, there is a campaign ad from, speaking of police, from John Kennedy, the senator. And it was very fun. This is not even from this election cycle. It's from, like, his first re-election bid. And he says, I don't know if you saw it, he goes, the left wants to defund the police. And you know what I say to that? I say, next time you're in trouble, call a crackhead.
Yes. I love that man so much.
Call a crackhead. I mean, that's literally what I say to these people. They want the police when it's convenient for them, and when they don't, the police are evil.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well, and Jon Stewart, who I don't always agree with him. He had a really good bit one time years ago. He did stand up where he was talking about the police and how that if you're in New York and something's going on, that everybody's marching around, fuck the police, fuck the police. He said then it starts getting violent. Everybody's like, where's the police? Call the police.
Well, you're seeing more and more leftist comedians have little twinkles of common sense now. Like I would say Bill Maher is a lot more moderate than a lot of these comedians. Bill Maher.
Yeah.
But Jon Stewart's pretty left, and he actually had a funny monologue. This was a couple months ago now. This is off topic, but it was about Biden's age, and he actually got a lot of shit from the left after this. I don't know if you saw it, but he was like, there's all these reports of people in his cabinet saying, "Oh, but Biden, he's really robust and energetic, and he runs meetings." And then Jon Stewart was like, "You know what? If he's really that alert and running meetings like a pro, maybe you should record that."
Yeah, show us that.
Funny,
Maybe you should show that. Yeah,
because we have 5,000 hours of footage of him being senile and not being able to
and
speak.
falling off a bike.
Right,
Yes.
and falling off a bike, falling downstairs. So it's like maybe if there's moments where he's really good and you're claiming that's most of the time, maybe record
Maybe show that. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, people were upset by him.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know if you saw, but there's now they're starting a campaign ad that Trump is senile. I'm like, well, since when does that matter? Okay.
Right, when does it? Yeah, right. I thought that's an attribute to the.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were going for now. So.
No, but I mean, it is encouraging. There's all these, like, even Jerry Seinfeld. I don't know if you saw. He went on about how the left has destroyed comedy. I think you're seeing some of these people, even they haven't necessarily become conservative, but they're at least seeing the damage that's being done. And I think it's better that they say something than not, even if they're not going to change their views or change their. I don't expect somebody who's a lifelong lib to suddenly be conservative.
No. Look, Bill Maher's never going to become Bill Maher's never going to become a conservative. But Bill Maher and I think that's why I don't really consider myself this far right or right person.
Well, I think he's a classical liberal. I think he's a classical liberal. He's like Dave Rubin.
And I don't consider him. Yeah, I don't consider him super left. I feel like here's the Constitution, and I'm kind of here, and Bill Maher's over here. But there are things we can come together on. Yeah. But when you have people like these nutcases on campus and the people supporting them, all these adults, they're the leaders of tomorrow. Oh, they're so inspired. They can't even bring snacks to a sit-in, lady. We're all going to starve.
Well,
they can't figure out how to get food and water in New York City with a phone, and they're the leaders of tomorrow.
Well, it's not just that, they forgot to bring water and they're thirsty. They think they're actually at risk of dying because they don't have some Pringles.
It's a humanitarian
and I don't know if you saw,
crisis.
Michael Knowles did this funny thing where he said he said jokingly he was going to start raising money for a Pringles fund for some of these people, because it's not like they're like bleeding on the ground and they need disinfectant and antibiotics or they're going to die. They literally want some goldfish crackers. I mean, that's literally what we're talking about, and they think they're going to die if they don't get it. Like what?
Well, only if they're divested from Israel.
Right.
And I got news for you. This whole divestment thing is not going to happen because here's the thing. I think we saw this early on when Bill Ackerman, who is one of the biggest leaders on Wall Street, wrote a letter to Harvard and said, we won't be hiring from your school, and everybody else followed suit. So the people who control investment and who make money in America are not going to stop making money because college students throw a temper tantrum and can't get snacks. They're not going to do it. They're just not. And I don't know, I don't want to feed into a stereotype, but I have heard, Chris, that there are more than a few Jewish people involved in the finance market in America.
You anti-Semite, you're Hitler. How dare you say that?
Yeah, I don't want to feed into a stereotype, but there's more than one or two Jewish people who run large companies. And here's the thing. There are, their friend, Bill Ackerman, is a respected man. So you don't have to be Jewish to know that you work with people who are Jewish and to know them and be their friend, right? So, and here's the thing. If you really want to turn the American people against you, go ahead and push that divestment and have mutual funds and retirement funds start losing money.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do that. Because you're not going to, people are not going to support that, right? So the thing is, you cannot divest from every company that is involved with Israel or supports Israel or employs Jewish people or whatever the case, that you can't do it.
Well,
And Columbia, those students aren't going to make up that income if Columbia were to do that.
Yeah,
They're
well,
just not.
I mean, one of the running things that I think we see, the running themes, is there's no long-term vision with any of these things. It's only what they want right now. They want to divest from Israel, or like they want to defund the police and abolish the police, but what do we replace it with? They have no answer. We want a ceasefire right now, no time for negotiation, ceasefire right now, but what about after that? They want to, abolish
Well, no,
ICE.
they want. Yeah, well, they want to demolish Israel, and they want it ruled by Hamas and the PLO, both terrorist groups who have spent decades killing Israeli citizens and who have stated that they want Israel destroyed. But
Right.
somehow, all the people who live there are going to be safe, even though every other Islamic fascist state has truly committed an ethnic cleansing or genocide against their Jewish citizens.
Yeah,
Somehow they think it's going to work.
right, and they can't, because none of these people, for any of these causes, not just the Israel, but for police, for open borders, for all nobody can talk about even 5 seconds later what their plans are. It's only what they want right now, whatever looks good in a hashtag, right? Free Palestine, abolish ICE,
Look,
defund
I
the
went
police.
on when this all started. I did a video on TikTok, and I went on to the pro-Pally creators, and I asked them, "What is your solution?" That's what I asked. What are you offering? Right? Nobody could. I got called names. I got told to read reports. I got told how horrible Israel. Not a single solitary one of them said this is what we should do.
Oh, I
None of
remember
them.
that, and you actually said you would be open to being persuaded if somebody gave you a good solution.
Well,
You'd be open.
and one guy, he answered me, so I kept asking more questions. And I was not trying to be a jerk. I was like, okay, well, if you do that, how do you... And finally, he's like, you're just full of gotcha questions. Dude, if you feel like they're gotcha questions, maybe you should figure out some answers.
Yeah.
This is why I don't take these people seriously. Right? If you come at me and you start asking me, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? I'll tell you, well, this are my concerns, or this is where we... But when your answer is just, oh, Israel's off, that's not a plan.
Yeah.
It's not a plan. You have to if you remove Israel, you put a vacuum of government there. And the one thing I want to know is, well, if we get rid of Israel, are we going to give Hamas all their weapons? Because they have nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
So do they get all of the military? Because they're in bed with Iran, and Iran literally wants to take over the world.
Yeah.
So that's not a gotcha question. It's just, I don't know. I didn't wake up yesterday and decide I was going to jump on a bandwagon cause.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. These people, can't take them seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. You don't want to take them seriously, but also you kind of have to take it seriously when a lot of people want death to America. So I think...
I don't take them seriously, but I think I take the people who are driving this and funding it and supporting it, and the fact that this is allowed to be taught and pushed. I take that seriously. I take very seriously. So, because this is being allowed, and the thing is, I'm not saying, look, you should teach every viewpoint on in college, right? But the idea is they're only teaching one viewpoint in college, right?
Yep.
And that is anti-Semitism, anti-Americanism, that is pro-communism. They're not teaching the other side of those things, right?
Yeah.
And so, and they're not only that, they're teaching that anybody who tells you anything different, that's propaganda and they're lying.
Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, we learned about Joseph Stalin when I was in high school, but we learned mostly about why Joseph Stalin as an individual and as a leader was a cruel individual. We didn't really learn about the role of communism in what happened to people. It was like with Hitler, we learned about the ideology of fascism and how that led to disastrous consequences for many demographics. But I've noticed when it was communism and Stalin, we learned about Stalin was bad, but not so much about why communism was bad. I think that's something that they teach it differently. They taught the ideology differently when it was Soviet Union.
I'll tell you how. This is what astounded me. Is some idiot communist was arguing with me, and I said, millions of people, literally millions of people, have come forward and said, communism is bad. This is what it's like to live in a communist country. From the Soviet Union and the Soviet bloc, the Khmer Rouge, people who've left China, North Korea
right now even.
Yeah, have come forward and said, this is a horrible way to live. I said, are you telling me they're all lying and don't know what they're talking about? They just don't really understand. They haven't studied it. And I'm thinking, so you know more. You who've never been to a communist country know more than millions of people who survived communism. You can't even reason with, that's just the dumbest. I mean, are you kidding me? People who literally survived it are telling you this is bad. It doesn't work.
It's like if I get raped, right? And I'm telling you how traumatic rape was. Somebody's going to tell me I can't speak about my trauma unless I read a textbook about the effects of rape.
Right.
My experience.
Well, I sat in a class and a professor told me it wasn't that bad, so it's not.
Right.
It's so and that's basically, I'm like, okay, well, you're just an idiot, because if people, millions of people say this is bad, then it's
from
bad.
firsthand experience, not just from hearsay, from firsthand experience.
Yes.
That's the key.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, there are communist regimes today.
Communist countries don't put up walls to keep people out.
Right.
Right? So, right. So,
Exactly.
and again, with these death to America people, leave. You don't have to be here. You don't have to be here. You can leave.
Yeah.
We do not have walls keeping people in or out right now. We don't even have walls keeping people out right now. So you can go. You're invited to leave. So
exactly.
Yeah, this college campus thing is insane. I wish everybody would follow the lead of UF and just expel these students. One of their demands is amnesty, right? And I'm like, they don't want to be expelled, and they don't want anything on their record. So they don't want employers to know that they did this.
Meanwhile, a grandma taking pictures of the Capitol is going to go to prison. I mean,
yes.
This is so silly. This is so stupid.
It is. So stupid. It's next level stupid. I never wanted to live during the 60s with all of that stuff going on, and I guess history repeats itself, because here I am feeling like I'm in the middle of that crap, and with a bunch of dirty, smelly hippies who, as Cartman says, they want to save the world, but they just smoke pot and smell bad. So
Cartman, he may have been wrong about the Jews, but he was right about the hippies.
He was right about the hippies, and you can't think of it. I mean, when you're afraid of fireworks. So.
Oh boy. So yeah, I think that's. Do you have anything else you want to add about that, or you're?
Nope. I think we're good.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're gonna have more. We're gonna.
I would like to start. I will tell you this. I think we should start a snack fund. I'm pretty sure a lot of them are vegan. I think we should start a snack fund to send them beef jerky. Here's your snacks. Dead cow. Here you go. Or send them a live goat and tell them to figure it out.
Or you know what would be even better? A fund to send Uber Eats Chick-fil-A to them.
Ooh.
That'll really trigger them.
Yes. Yes, it would. Oh, we need to figure out how to make that happen. Yeah, I think that's...
Chick-fil-A for Palestine protesters.
Oh my God, because Chick-fil-A's Christian, and they say that they
hate Chick-fil-A because they think it hates the gays. So they won't eat Chick-fil-A. Most of these people, I guarantee, even who aren't vegan, they will not eat Chick-fil-A. They would rather kill themselves than eat Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, then we should send them Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Because enough of them might...
Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A, as we like to say.
Enough of them might eat jerky. I think jerky is like, some won't eat it, some will. None of them will eat Chick-fil-A, I guarantee you.
I love it. Let's let them starve for a couple more days, and then just let it walk.
Here's your lifeline.
Well, you saw where at Harvard they were doing a hunger strike, so the conservative students went out and did a barbecue.
Love it.
Right next door. Yeah.
So we should, let's talk offline. I would actually be willing to put some money in to set that up.
I would too. Also, we could send them bagels. So...
Actually, you know what? Which bagels we should get them? We should give. There's a chain. I don't know if it's near you. Einstein Bagel Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Einstein's. Yeah. Whatever. Just, bagels and Chick-fil-A. I love it. I absolutely think we should send it that.
Okay, more on that
All
next
right,
time.
I'll make a plan.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Thanks for watching Beyond the Rubicon. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.